Hi, I'm John Pannell with the
Blue Banner Podcast.
I'm here today with Lori Horvitz, Professor Lori Horvitz with the Literature Department.
The English department.
Excuse me, forgive a mass comm major for getting that wrong. But we are here to talk about the F Word Film Festival. And how long has that been going on, actually?
This is going to be my 16th year of organizing it.
Oh, okay.
So the first year was 2000, and I took off a year when we had no funding. But,
Okay.
Otherwise, this is my 16th year.
Okay. So how often do you put it on?
It's just once a year in the spring,
Okay.
usually in March, Women's History Month.
Women's History Month, that's
Yes.
right. Okay, so it's deliberately coincide with that usually. So the films we're going to talk about, those are closer to the end of March, is that?
It's March 21st and 22nd, so it's the Tuesday and Wednesday we get back from spring break.
Okay. All right, and so are you, I'm guessing you're the one in charge of selecting the films that go on.
Yes.
And is it hard to find films?
It's not hard to find films, but it's hard to find films that I would think would be engaging enough to get crowds out. The first bunch of years that I was doing this, I went through a film distribution company called Women Make Movies. So it was all films about women by women. And they always have a really good selection of films, new films. So these films, Out in the Night, I heard about, and actually the school had a copy of it, and I watched it, and it was pretty amazing. And I got in touch with the filmmaker, and through the filmmaker, got in touch with two of the people who to come to the screenings, two of the people who are in the film, who in that particular film, Out in the Night, is about it's a documentary that tells the story of a group of young African-American lesbians who are out in one hot August night. This is the copy from the movie. Anyway, they go to New York City. They basically get harassed by a male, and a bunch of people come to their aid, and somehow a big fight ensues, and they end up in jail. And then the media makes them out to be this gang of killer lesbians. And of course, they're not going to get fair trials with the legal justice system, and four of them went to jail.
Right.
Which is, I mean, watching the film is just heartbreaking, and you could see how race and sexuality and class really, go against them in this particular situation.
Right. Now, two of these women are actually going to be a part of the panel.
Yes. Well, not part of the panel. They're going to actually do a Q&A after the screening
Q&A.
of the film. Right.
Excuse me. Yeah. And so so they got out at some
Well,
point.
they got out, but they served, I can't remember, maybe 3 or 4 years each.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And finally, they did a retrial.
Okay.
But they had evidence. There was a video camera in front of where this harassment took place, so they could see the guy was actually pulling their hair. They had this film.
And it was just, I guess they didn't have proper defense, or was
Yeah, I mean, the legal system just after the media called them the gang of killer lesbians and this mob that attacked this male, they're not going to have a fair trial after that.
Right.
Besides the fact that they come in and they're African American, they're lesbians, and they made no qualms about that. So.
Okay. Now that's the film that's being screened March 21st.
Mm-hmm. And that's in the Humanities Lecture Hall.
Mm-hmm. If you could briefly describe second film, A Womb of Their Own.
So, Womb of Their Own is about, Well, the copy says, how do people who don't experience themselves as simply female or male handle a culture that offers only these two identities? So they focus on a few biological females who are masculine of center
Right.
presentation and gender identity. So, and they give birth. So we're following their stories as they establish their own unique gender, develop their definition of family, grow a baby inside their bodies, chest feed and parent their children as non-binary masculine people. So that's pretty interesting, and it's turning motherhood on its head.
Right, and the term in the press release is masculine of center, so I'm guessing that's referring to gender identity.
Yes.
Okay, and not necessarily sexuality. Like if anyone's familiar with the unicorn?
The genderbread.
Yeah.
the genderbread person.
Yeah.
So sexuality and gender identity and biological sex are all different.
Okay. And that's something that kind of struck me about both of these movies, is that we're dealing with, feminism, kind of a feminist message with both of them, but we're kind of dealing with, I suppose, some people get some criticism for, just sticking up for middle class white women feminism.
Yes.
And neither of these films are kind of preaching that, because that's already been preached to an extent. We're looking at something different here.
Well, yeah, we're pushing at the boundaries of, I guess you would call it second wave feminism from the 60s and 70s. It was, people claim, or people say, that it was a white middle class movement, and at first anyway, the white middle class women weren't, in some circles, accepting the working class women or the lesbians or the African Americans. So this is really pushing at those boundaries. One would hope that now feminism is more inclusive. So, yeah.
Okay. So is that a deliberate choice to kind of push those boundaries when you're selecting these films?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was trying to push the boundaries. Just, I think that the transgender issues of transgender people are really in the news these days, especially with the HB2 law.
Yeah.
And I think it's...
Welcome to North Carolina, folks.
Yes. Or welcome to, our president. But
yeah.
But A Womb of Their Own pushes that idea of gender as a social construct, that these biological females are pushing the idea of gender identity, and that it doesn't have to be feminine. You could be a masculine, or as they identify as non-binary masculine people.
Right.
Although they were born female.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Well, for those people who don't have a poster in front of them, Womb of Their Own will take place, will be screened in the Laurel Forum of Carpen Hall at UNC at 7 o'clock on March 22nd, and the 21st is in the Humanities Lecture Hall. So we're hoping for a much bigger crowd there, since we'll have the two main stars of the film joining the crowd.
All right, cool. Well, Professor Horvitz, thanks for your time.
Oh, thank you.
Hey there. Thanks for tuning into B3, the Blue Banner's official podcast. I'm Nick Strauss.
And I'm James Hughes.
And today... we have a
Special guest.
Jenna Ventrella. She is the co-president of
Active Students for a Healthy Environment,
otherwise known as ASHE, fantastic student organization. Today we just want to talk a little bit about the mission statement and various programs that you're involved in, because it seems to be a lot of positive stuff. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. ASHE this year has been really involved in cleaning up the community. We're an action-based student group on campus, and we've also been really pushing for the Real Food Challenge this semester and last semester as well.
The Real Food Challenge, I definitely have seen flyers. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so the Real Food Challenge is a movement across campuses nationwide, college campuses, and the goal is to get college campuses to serve 20% real food by 2020. And the Real Food Challenge defines real food as organic, fair trade, humanely sourced, or local.
So when you stepped into ASHE, what was the progress of the Real Food Challenge, and where are we at right now?
So in the fall is when we really started talking about the Real Food Challenge, and we hadn't really, past members of ASHE from a few years ago had started the initiative, but then it kind of died down, and we're picking it back up again right now. And I think the time is perfect to push for it because we have a really cool chancellor. We have a lot of students who are on board with it, and we have a lot of momentum going. So yeah, right now we have been having a lot of meetings with Brooks Castile and Nancy Yeager, who are part of dining services and student affairs.
Big names on campus.
Yeah. So and Sonia Marcus as well, who's the leader of the Office of Sustainability. And we have recently created a survey that we've been handing out to students, just asking them what they want to see on campus in terms of more local food, more organic food, more fair trade food, more vegetarian options, etc. And we've been getting a lot of good feedback. We have over 200 responses right now. We're aiming for about 500, so it's been going well.
Yeah, the survey sounds like a really great way, as you put it to me before this conversation, to give the students more of a voice instead of just their signature.
Yeah. So yeah, last year we were tabling a lot, and we were trying to get petitions, signatures from students, but now students with the survey, we feel like they can actually write down what they want instead of just supporting the cause.
When you show that to the administration, does that have more weight to it?
I would say so for sure. We haven't showed all of the petition signatures we've gotten, but we've definitely showed them survey results, and they're really happy with the fact that we're getting feedback from students so that they know which way to go when it comes to the Real Food Challenge and getting better food on campus.
So it seems that ASHE is really motivated to bring better food to the campus. And so that makes my next question, basically, what do you feel about the food that we have now?
Well, currently, from a survey or not a survey, but some numbers that were disclosed in an audit in 2014, we have less than 5% real food on campus right now.
Ooh, Chartwells, come on now. Come on, Chartwells.
Which is a lot less than we expected and we anticipated, especially with Rosetta's on campus, which is a local business, and they have a good amount of real food, you would think. So Rosetta's got to account for at least 4 of those 5%, right? Yeah, I'm not sure if they were accounted for in the audit that was recently done, but yeah, you would expect for there to be more for sure.
I mean, to me, right, and back me up on this, James, right?
All right.
That's savage because with Brown, all the marketing, on the websites, everything, UNCA is a place for great food and variety, but yet I feel like most of the students know that it's a little less quality than maybe what is advertised, right?
Yeah, I mean, you walk into Brown, once you're actually in the main, eating area, there's a big chalkboard sign that talks about come this way, what is it? Come this way to eat healthy or to eat green or something like that.
I don't go in there much, I'm not sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It kills me. I mean, it seems like PR more so than an actual movement because Chartwells is making money on
Compass Group profits more than McDonald's every year.
What?
Yeah, they are definitely making money.
See, and that's just information that I feel like if more people knew about, more people would be upset about or have some kind of voice for.
Definitely. And in the end, we're the students. We're the ones who make the shots. We're the ones who pay for the food. And if we want better food, then they should give it to us.
We pay for it. We eat it. It's just like going out to eat. I mean,
honestly, and I, off and on, I hear different rumors. I'm not sure the validity, but I hear that we're in a 10-year contract with Chartwells,
Yeah, I think it's 12 years, actually.
12 years.
And we just renewed it maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, I heard that we have 2 years left. And so,
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we just renewed it. So
that's bad news.
But for the Real Food Challenge, we can have a separate policy that requires them to get 20% real food by 2020. regardless of them renewing the contract or not.
Where are we at in that progress? Because it's 3 years left until we're at 2020. So
Yeah, we're pushing for it. We're getting a lot of resistance from administration for sure. They're not really on board with it, but I feel like what we really need to do is have a big action on campus where students like put themselves out there, say this is what we want, this is what like you guys need to give us, and they can't really ignore that. So we definitely need more people involved with it.
I noticed administration, they'll throw a lot of red tape at stuff to halt
Definitely.
progress in most ways, and it doesn't serve like the motto of the university, which is seriously creative.
Exactly. They're very all for sustainability, or so they claim. Like one of our
It's PR though, because the evidence suggests that they're not for that change, and that they're going to put red tape in front of that change. I'm running a festival called EcoFest. I'm not going to do a huge plug or anything, but I will say that it's for charity, right? And we're doing an art raffle to raise that money. You would think they would let us do the art raffle, right? But there seems to be a little bit of it's like, oh, we have to really regulate how this works, and we have to, and I'm sure that they're afraid like we might pocket some money and stuff, but that's not the case, right? The case is that we're trying to raise money for a good cause, and that's Helpmate, right? If you guys don't know about Helpmate, learn about it. Great, like shelter for abuse in Asheville. Anyway, what I'm saying is that stuff like this needs to be fully supported by the campus. They don't need to be making it seem as though there is like a due process that in the end limit the function, you know what I mean? And I see the parallels between what I'm talking about and what ASHE is trying to do and what SSDP is trying to do, and especially what Divest is trying to do.
Yeah, definitely divestment.
Divest, I mean, okay, I know that Divest is not at the moment an actual student organization,
Right.
but they run their views run concurrent with what the school's mission statement is.
Exactly.
And yet all you hear is this drama pushback from the administration. So what is the agenda, right? What is the point?
Money.
There it is.
the root of all evil is what it always comes down to.
Exactly. And the thing is, they keep pushing this cost point that it'll cost more for students. Students will have to pay more, especially low-income students will be affected, but that's not the case. Chartwells can take on the cost. They just don't want to.
And then speaking of paying more, we're the ones who end up paying more anyway. We're paying more for the
the renovations that
Yeah,
all the
they
renovations.
just spent $70 million on a
$70
new
million?
renovation. Yeah.
I heard it was like 12 million. That's
No, it's
Because
70
Good
million.
amount.
And everyone's tuition goes up by like $200 or $400 next semester.
But eating healthy is not on the docket.
It's not a priority.
That's too much money to
yeah,
eat
exactly.
healthy.
Getting 20% real food, which they already have 10% of their budget where they have leeway with what they can spend their money on, and they're not choosing to use it for the right foods.
On one end, I know you were talking, and I mean, this may be a little more theory-based, but you were talking about how a lot of this is more PR. Well, on one end, we're talking about the image of UNCA being, we are healthy, we care about green living and all of this. Well, if you have enough people for there to be a scene, then they can always say, oh, yeah, well, look at the students we have fighting for green living. But if you have enough people, then you can make that real change to where they have to present themselves as being green and not just using the students as a talking point. And so I feel like that comes to having that large support.
Yeah, it's really important that we have a lot of support for sure. I think if we organize an action, we get a lot of students out, we show administration that this is what we want, then they can't turn us down. And that's how UNC Chapel Hill, who has recently passed the Real Food Challenge, got what they wanted. They just kept pushing and pushing and saying, we're not going to back down until you give us what we want.
Awesome. And you're involved with the SEC as
Yeah,
well?
I'm the project coordinator for the Student Environmental
Hell
Center.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very involved.
Yeah.
All right. And then how would you connect the SEC and the Real Food Challenge?
The SEC is definitely all about the Real Food Challenge. They're backing it up for sure. It's good to have the SEC, the big following that the SEC has, and all the support from the staff members and whatnot, and support from Sonia Marcus with the Real Food Challenge and stuff. And we recently just got the SGA to agree to circulate the survey as well, so they're on board as well.
Oh, wow. So it's really spreading throughout.
Yeah, and Charlie Waite has, who's the student body president, has
Good guy.
been shown to support the Real Food Challenge as well. So it's been going on for quite a while. It's been a while. It's been around for a while, but I think now we're finally starting to get the momentum going.
What's it like working with SG on a series of projects like this?
The SGA,
That's what we were just.
working with the SGA or the SEC.
Oh, no. Like you said, the student government you were working with to circulate the documents, right?
Yeah.
So how did you go about doing that?
Well, we just we talked to them directly. We talked to Charlie White and we talked to Erin Riggs, who's she's the sustainability officer for the SGA, and I mean they had some concerns about the survey at first, but once we fixed them, they seemed to be okay with it.
That's cool. I mean, I think that as long as like student organizations have access to student government for all the benefits that entails, right? That would engender a more successful series of like events, like passing out something simple like flyers. You know what I'm saying? What I'd like to see more of on campus is actually like a more collaboration between student orgs like that.
Yeah, definitely. We've been trying to pick that up as well, for sure.
Yeah. I'll bring it back a little. I want to bring it back a little bit to ASHE. What are some other? I know. Besides the survey and the Real Food Challenge, there's a lot of small programs. Like I see you guys picking up cigarette butts and whatnot.
Yeah, we've had 2 community cleanups this semester so far. So we've cleaned up W.T. Weaver and Broadway, mostly, like all of Broadway. It seemed like, yeah, and it's really trashy over there. Lots of cigarette butts. Yeah. But yeah, we've had 2 cleanups. One of them was last Sunday, and we're really involved with Greenfest this year as well. I think we have like 5 events coming up. We have an off-campus service day that's going to be an invasive species removal with Riverlink. And we have an environmental art expo where we're going to make moss graffiti and seed bombs and have Allison Ormsby to come talk about the art or the environment as it relates to art. And we are showing the movie Seed, The Untold Story, which is a movie about the decreasing seed biodiversity due to Monsanto and monocropping and whatnot.
Fuck Monsanto.
Yeah.
Saying it right in the air.
Agreed.
Right here.
So if someone really wanted to be involved with any of these upcoming events, what would be the best way for them to get information and how to involve themselves?
We have meetings every Tuesday at 12 p.m. in Carpin 12, and I think that would be the best way to get involved. Just come out to a meeting. We talk about everything we're doing. We have people planning certain things. We delegate tasks to people, and yeah, I think that's probably the best way to get involved.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Greenfest is March 27th, right?
Yeah, it starts March 25th and it goes till I think April 1st.
That's dope. EchoFest
like
starts or is March 25th. So
okay.
Students, check it out. It's gonna be
Yeah.
dope, guys, for real. Especially for some good causes, you know. Sorry for the shameless plugs, but I think that it's important. I think that
worries.
it's important that people know. Like,
I think ASHE will be at EchoFest too, tabling. So.
Oh, there you go. So it's all relevant.
Yeah.
What we want at EchoFest is for all, because, you know, we kind of were going to do vendors, but that's sort of fallen through the cracks. What we want to do now is just get all the important student groups together who are fighting for something real change.
We have a student activist social coming up. So we're including Student Action Coalition, divestment, students for sensible drug policy on campus. We're all going to get together at the block off Biltmore on March 23rd and just have a social for people who are interested and talk about all of our hard work. Yeah.
That'd be something interesting. I'm sure that maybe the Blue Banner has heard of something like that or something like, but that's something I would definitely want coverage on because I've considered those groups you just named to be among the most important as far as real change, you know?
Yeah.
Social change is really important, and that's something that this school is known for. But sustainability, information about drugs, like we actually had the president of SSDP on a few weeks ago. These are issues that affect a lot of people really immediately, even in ways we don't expect, you know? And that's actually why we wanted ASHE to come represent, you know? So know that the Blue Banner supports you.
Awesome.
And the rest of the school should too, but it seems like the administration, hate to go back to this.
Yeah.
They need some like snuggling up or something. Like I don't know what the deal is, man. But
it's just more work for them in the end.
Is it true you guys are gonna start cleaning up the ASHE hole cigarette butts soon?
The what?
Oh, the ASHE hole is the smoking spot near to the ridges, South and West Ridge.
Okay.
And sorry, I was talking with Lee. I guess.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't tell me about that.
Lee's the other president, right?
Yeah, he's the other co-president.
Yes. Sorry to bring up something that like blindsides you like that.
No, that's okay.
I think it's interesting because like the ASHE hole, as we called it, was a place like when I was a freshman that we would all just go like smoke, right? And that place got taken away from the local smoking community, right? Which is probably for the best in the end. But the mess that was there, it was It was a legendary mess because it was like something that was considered almost uncleanable. There were so many cigarette butts just all over the place, right?
Oh, wow.
You know, now that I've quit, like I'm really sad. Like, and I was thinking, I had heard Jonathan Stockwell, president of SSDP, they were organizing it or something, and ASHE was maybe going to. This is what Lee was telling me earlier. They were going to collaborate, and that is exactly what I'm interested in. Is these small micro collaborative events that make a bigger picture, right? Because as we all know, the bigger picture is often found in the details, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the little things that make up that bigger picture.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm on board for that. That sounds really cool.
I know we were talking earlier about this campus being progressive. If I'm not mistaken, UNCA, either with SEC or the Real Food Challenge, were one of the first schools to really take the initiative to start it up, and it's kind of taken on steam from here.
I think, I don't know if we're one of the first schools to have a student environmental center, but I think we are one of the only ones that do in terms of all of the campuses across America. We are currently, with the Real Food Challenge, I think, from what I know, all schools in California have already passed it.
Whoa, that's
Warren
a lot.
Wilson, Warren Wilson has 40% real food, or they're on their way there. UNC Chapel Hill is the only state school to pass it so far, and we're currently working with UNC Greensboro to get it passed.
I would say that Chapel Hill, I mean, they've got the advantage that they have a little bit more money flowing.
But they also have a bigger student body.
Way bigger.
And we are only a few thousand students. So.
Well, you would think it'd be simple then, because
right?
we have such a small food infrastructure. I mean, we've got like the 2 restaurants in the student union, 1 cafeteria, and then some like auxiliary places like Rosetta that are really out of the way, in my opinion. A lot of students don't even like know about it.
Yeah, definitely, you're right about that.
And honestly, like when you go to a place like App State, it really like it shows you how much more like a bigger school has to think about food options and stuff. Like they've got like McDonald's on campus, like, and that.
Oh, I don't know if I'd.
That's not
envious.
That's not a good thing,
Yeah.
but it shows that their infrastructure is so much more robust and that they've got a bigger variety, right? And I would be willing to bet that App State probably has more real food than us.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in contact with a student org leader from App recently, and I've told them about the Real Food Challenge, and they seem interested in it, so maybe we can get them on board as well. I'm not sure how much real food they have, but...
Like a crazy intercollegiate kind of like pact that we could all make to bring ourselves forward. It sounds cool. It really does.
Especially if local colleges start all getting on the same message. That way, the administration here could see that it's not just people here that think this.
Right.
This is a culture thing. That this is something bigger than just the students here. That
it definitely is. Yeah, it's going on across so many campuses nationwide. It's a really big thing.
You know, I was thinking, despite the fact that like UNCA doesn't have like the most renowned known sports programs, that is where a lot of money goes.
Oh, definitely. Athletes are very important at UNCA for sure.
They are. And I think alumni, they consider it important too. And so that's why our, what is the name of the building? I'm sorry. Our sports...
Sherrill Center?
The Sherrill Center. Thank you. I'm very sorry. That's why I think the Sherrill Center is such a nice looking building. It's such a robust, accessible, like, I mean, that's actually where Rosetta's is too. I think that's like that because more money is flowing there. So I'm saying, like, what if these projects that we do, like, what if like the jerseys had, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if our basketball jerseys had like something that the SEC designed on it or that ASHE designed on it? Like, this is the type of like interdepartmental kind of thinking that is what would get the message really out there. You know what I mean? And I don't think that our school really does that. Have you seen? Because I mean, you see like players will wear like pink socks sometimes to show support for stuff. All it would take is something small like that, but like at a really local level.
I will say, just on that sports aspect, that there's a lot of rules and regulations that goes into uniforms and what they can and can't do, what they can and can't promote.
Rules and regulations suck.
Yeah, it's red tape everywhere. But still, it's like you were talking about having those kind of like departmental workings together. It would just show like the overall student body working together as one cohesive body instead of just a finger working separately from a hand, working separately from an arm.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we all
Absolutely.
have the same motion or the same objective, then we can get a lot more done that way.
And see, that's a theme that pops up on our podcast quite a bit, really, and that's for good reason, because that's how things get done. You know what I mean? And I honestly think there should be more of a coalition, between all the student orgs, and I think that organized meeting that you were talking about is a great step in the right direction. I also work in Blue Echo, and it would be a real step in the right direction to add like promotional programming for some of the student orgs. That's something
that'd be awesome.
that's something we're interested in doing to bring forward like what I would consider like the future of student orgs on this campus, because it's going to get to the point where we need to start making these changes happen, or else what are we but impotent? Am I right?
Lately, I have noticed for the ASHE meetings and for divestment meetings, there's not too many students showing up. So I think some advertisement and some promotion would definitely help. Because ASHE has been around since 1980, I think. They're the oldest.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the oldest student org on campus. And at one point, they had like 60 students coming out to their meetings, and ASHE was like a huge deal. So I would love to get ASHE to be like that again.
Maybe to scale it back a second, I would like to ask, how did you get involved with ASHE?
How did I get involved with ASHE? Well, I'm a freshman here, and last semester my friend Gabby was like, "Oh, are you coming to the ASHE meeting?" And I was like, "What's that?" And she told me, so I went to the first meeting, and I was like, "This is really cool." So I decided to get involved further.
And then here you are, co-president.
Yep,
Yeah,
here
man.
I am.
Wow. That didn't take you long, did it?
No, yeah. They were in need of leadership actually at the time, so I stepped up and I was like, I want to do this.
As a nation, we are in need of leadership.
And people to step up and say, I got this.
Yeah, for real.
But, it looks like you have your heart in the right place, and you're really trying to bring this to more than just an organization that's controlled by two people. You're trying to bring it beyond state lines, especially with the Real Food Challenge being a nationwide event. And so keep up the good work, especially with getting the information out there, because the more people who know about it, the more people that can participate.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody, tell your friends.
Yes,
Get
please.
active.
Take the survey.
Come to the meetings.
Come to the meetings.
Go to the damn meetings, guys. So, Jenna, is there anything else while we're here that you would like to bring up from SUC or ASHE?
I just want to say that if anyone's interested in becoming a part of ASHE, to come out to the meetings on Tuesday at 12 in Carpin 12 and take the survey so we can show administration what students want to see on campus.
Take the damn survey, guys.
It's helpful. It really helps.
All right, thank you so much. So, guys, this is Nick Strauss signing off.
And this is James Hughes.
And, Jenna, have a good one.
Thanks, you too.
Peace.
Bitches.